So, you guys want to learn how to make music with FL Studio? You're in the right place. I'm going to teach you exactly how to make music. This is going to be a simple tutorial. You know what I'm saying? FL Studio, it seems complicated when you don't know what you're doing. But with my help, my guidance, we're going to turn you into a pro. So let's get started. First things first, you got to actually open up your copy of FL Studio. You know, hopefully you did buy the program yourself. But, you know, I don't know what y'all be doing. Your version is not going to take any time to load because you have nothing to load, right? It's going to be an empty project. It might open a project file that it already has saved in FL. But as I was saying, so sometimes they open up a like a project file that just has like a random song on it. And that's what you'll see. But, you know, you always want to just do a new file. And you could do a new from template. And this is what y'all will see. This is what y'all will see. This is a new empty file. Everything is bare bones. There's nothing in this bitch. There's nothing in here. All right? Nothing in here. So this is your new playground. This is your new playground. Obviously, you have all your tracks here. All your tracks. And then you have a bunch of different bells and whistles. Now, like I said, this is going to be a very simple and easy tutorial. Because guess what? I don't think you guys are going to become the next Kanye West overnight. Like, you're not going to need everything. You probably just want to know how to record your voice, put it into this thing. All right, y'all want to put it into this thing and get recording. That's all you want to do. I understand. So literally, it's as simple as dragging and dropping. Okay, simple as dragging and dropping. I have a beat, right? How do I get it in? Because probably you know how to do that. Okay, so like I said, it's as simple as dragging and dropping. You see this? I have a bunch of different downloaded folders, and this is MP3. All you got to do, drag and drop. I like to keep mine at the top. Usually the beat is going at the top. I don't know, it's just how I did it. It's how I did it. Helps keep everything, you know, somewhat neat, like tidy. Neat and tidy, you know? So I have to go, if I have to find something, I know where it is, okay? Organized, exactly. So I always put the beat at the top. And one thing that I always do as well is I make sure the beat is on track 1. You know what I'm saying? Danny, thank you for the follow. I make sure the beat is on track 1. Now, why is that? Because if you open up this, you click on this little button. It looks like two boxes with lines cutting through them. This is your mixer rack, okay? This is all of your mixer channels, right? So insert 1 through whatever. And so what I just did, I just put the beat on insert 1. Now, this section over here is where you can put all of your different plugins, okay? So let's say you wanted to do something specific with the beat, right? Like you wanted to make it louder. You wanted to do something specifically with frequencies, all this stuff. This is where you would put it in. You double click the beat and it brings up this section. It brings up this little pop-up. I can't make it any bigger, unfortunately, but it brings up this, right? And from here, there's a little red tab and it says track, and you can move it with the mouse wheel, or you can click and move it up or down to go to different tracks. And like I said, I always like to slide it on track 1 because for organizational purposes, it's just easier to do that. And from this section, double clicking on it, you can also just make it louder. Vocal clips that you want to like make softer or louder, you have a volume wheel here. This is also where you can do some pitching and then other different settings too that you probably won't need. I'm not gonna lie, you probably won't need them. Okay, a lot of the things that you want to achieve, you could do it yourself. You know what I'm saying, through different plugins. But anyways, like I said, now we have this. And there's a little section here. You see the start button, you see the pause button, or the stop button, and then you see the record button, okay? You see this? To the left of it, it should say PAT, pattern mode, or song mode. Now, for all you niggas that want to make songs, you know what I'm saying? You want to be the next Osama son? You gon' just stay in song mode, all right? Pattern mode is if you're making beats, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You're not going to be doing that. I said you're not going to be Kanye West, so you're not going to be Kanye West with this tutorial. Okay, you feel me? You want to make sure this bitch is in song mode, though. Because if it's in pattern mode, nothing's going to happen, my nigga. Nothing is going to happen. You feel me? You hear anything? No, exactly. Because you're not in song mode. Now that you're in song mode, your shit is going to go. Now, listen. I can hear it. You can't. And that's because I have an interface. So, the audio is routed, so you can't hear it. This is only a section if you niggas stream, right? And you have an interface, okay? This is the only section for y'all niggas, okay? If you don't have any of these things, you don't stream, and you don't have an interface, don't worry about this section. Skip about 2 minutes forward, and you'll be good. But anyways, to my niggas that stream, and my niggas that have an interface, you want to go ahead and get this shit called Voxengo Recorder. You feel me? Voxengo recorder. All right, so the Voxengo, this is going to allow you to output audio to a different source so that your stream could hear whatever you're cooking up on FL. You feel me? So make sure your output is always set to MME, and then you're going to choose your MME device to just some random shit that isn't your actual output, right? So my actual output is speakers, Focusrite, USB. I don't want to set it to that because if I do, it's just going to ping pong. It's going to be horrible delay. All right, horrible echo, excuse me. They're not going to know what's going on, right? So I set it to a random thing. I set it to one of my monitor speakers, even though my monitor doesn't have speakers, right? So I set it to that. I click start, and now this bitch is good. You can just get rid of it. This bitch is good. And on your OBS, you want to switch your desktop audio to whatever you set the Voxengo MME device to. So now that I started that and I switched the outputs, you should be able to hear the beat, and let's try it out.
But I'm on the moon.
Now, your next step, like I said, we have our beat. We got that bitch in to insert one. You know what I'm saying? Now you're probably going to wonder, yo, Jerkyyy, but I just want to record. How do I record my vocals? Easy. Calm down. Calm down. I'm going to get to that. All right? So in this mixer rack, right, all these other inserts are going to be empty because, like I said, this was an empty project. Okay? So, I mean, fuck it. You could really select any of them to record your vocals on. Now, again, if you want to be organized, neat, tidy, know where everything is, you could go down in numerical order, having everything you need, like, actually organized, right? But when I first started making music, I didn't. Nigga, I was tossing shit on anything. So it doesn't really matter. If you know where your shit is, you know where your shit is. You feel me? The next step in actually being able to record is, again, going to over where you would put your plugins, okay? This little section, this is also where you can turn on whatever mic you want to use and record, okay? So you see this little drop down list. It says none right now, and it says none because I don't have a mic selected. Now I have two different inputs on this bitch, so realistically, like I said, I could do one or two. I always select input one, and now that I selected input one, you can hear me through this. All right. You probably heard me double for a second, but now you can hear me through this. Now, there's some people that don't like hearing their voice back when they record, and you see this little yellow lit light. We're going to want to click that, and now it's going to say monitor external input. So it's always going to be clicked on when armed, and that means whenever you have a mic set to record in this insert, it's going to monitor the audio. So if you don't want to hear your voice, you could just click off. And now that it's off, you can't hear me through FL anymore. This is my regular mic. But even though you don't hear anything, if you were to go record, yo, yeah. Listen, it's still recorded. Yo, yeah. Some bullshit, right? Regardless, that's that, okay? So now you know how to get your beat in to FL. You know how to set it up to insert one or to any track. And you also know how to turn on a mic and record. Okay? You're pretty much 75% of the way done now. Pretty much 75% of the way done. Like, all these other buttons, all this other shit, you really don't even got to worry about. I'm not going to lie. Now, as somebody said in chat, yes, there is delay, and you can mess around with your delay settings. If you did want to hear yourself be played back, and you wanted to get the delay down to where it's like almost, you know, there's no delay. You would have to go to the top left, and there's gonna be a bunch of different options, right? So there's file, edit, add, patterns, view, options, tools, and help. Okay, you're gonna want to click options, and you're gonna click audio settings here. So now, oh sorry, you're gonna hear me double. Sorry. Now that you're in here, there's gonna be a bunch of different settings, and this for you, this device is gonna always be set on FL Studio ACO. It's going to be set on that. But again, I told you, I have an interface, so it's set to my interface because that's what I use. So my interface is the Focusrite USB ACO, so it's on that, okay? So mine will look different than yours, but that's because I have an interface. And if you have an interface, you want to set it to the interface, okay? Because it will be set on FL Studio ACO, all right? Now, the sections look pretty much the same. I'll show you, look. It looks the same. But there's a lot more delay on this one. And now, look. When we go back to Focusrite, it's almost instantly. There's going to be a show ACO panel button here. It's going to say buffer delay or buffer length, excuse me. And it's going to have a certain SMP, or then it's going to give you in milliseconds, right? What you're going to want to do is you want to turn down your buffer size to a lower number. Now, mine only goes to like 64. Anything lower and it starts sounding staticky, But mine goes down to 64, and that's pretty much like me talking. I hear the monitor, the feedback, I hear it instantly. So you're gonna see a slight difference because I have it at 512. You're gonna see a slight difference as soon as I turn it to 64. Now it sounds almost like 1-to-1, 1-to-1, right? There was like maybe 0.2, 0.5 second of delay before. You know what I'm saying? At 512, now it's almost 1-to-1. Okay, so let's go back to 512. Now there's like, again, there's like that little delay, right? What's the best hardware for making music in your opinion? All right, so we're gonna take a little break. We're just gonna answer a couple of questions, probably like, frequently asked questions. What's the best hardware for making music in your opinion? Now, that is a hard question to answer because there's so many different fucking things to choose from that it's like some may just have a little quirk that might be exactly what you want, etc. But as Moondog said, what you need to start is an XLR mic and a Scarlett Solo, which is the interface. And let me see if I can show you. I can't. But anyway, the interface is a little small red box, and it could just fit on your desk. And then an XLR is a mic like this. It has like one of the cables that come out. You know what I'm saying? That you would see for like a guitar amp or something. I'm writing this down. No, you should. So this setup, an XLR mic and a Focusrite, like the specific XLR mic I have is the MXL 990. And then I have the Scarlett Solo 3, I think it is. I think together these two things cost me like either $200 to $300. So what is next? What is next? As I said, up here next to the play and the stop button, this is your record button. And you can click it before you start playing, so it'll have a countdown, and you'll hear it now. Never mind, I lied like shit. I turned my countdown off. It's this little button. It's in the middle of this 5 stack right next to the tempo button. It says countdown before recording. When you hover over it, has some numbers. It says 3.2.1. You know what I'm saying? So if you arm the recording before you start, listen, it'll play a countdown. Boom. It'll count you right in, right? Or you can play the song and you can start recording, just as you press the button. And it'll record either way. As you can see, I just deleted stuff. If you hold down right click, you can delete things. And you can delete a lot of things at one time. So now, it's time for the preset, chat. It's time for the preset. This is not going to be a preset building tutorial, okay? Because I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do it. But I do know there's a lot of free presets on the internet, okay? So just go ahead and download one of those free presets. If you do download a preset and there's certain plugins, like it says slot 6, it doesn't have a plugin there, most likely you are missing a plugin. And if you're able to find out which one it is, you could go ahead and download that bit. You know what I'm saying? Or buy it, depending on if it's free or paid. You're probably wondering, Jerkyyy, how do I get my preset into the mixer rack? I sound like shit, right? Don't worry. I got you. Again, you remember how we drag and dropped the beat? For example, I have a preset called Lance Song 21, okay? All I have to do is drag and drop it to wherever I would want it on the mixer rack. So I dragged it over insert 16. Now my preset is over insert 16. You can also do it by right-clicking on whatever insert, and there's going to be a bunch of different options here. You can change the color, you can rename it, etc. What you can also do is hover over this thing. It says File. And from here, you can open a mixer track state, which is essentially other words for a preset. You feel me? So let's open up that same exact one, Lance Song 21. And when you go by this method, it'll only open up mixer presets. So it's kind of nice, if you have a long list of things like I do here, it'll only open up the presets. So whatever one you click on, it's going to be a preset, right? So now that I loaded that mixer state, I have a preset on here now. So I sound a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? There's a little, my voice is EQ'd. There's a little delay. You know what I'm saying? And there's other things. How do you move them and connect them type shit? Okay, so that's a good question. So down here, you see there's a bunch of different arrows. There's a bunch of different arrows, and they lead to different things on the mixer. So when you're going from an empty project file, each individual insert is gonna just go right to the master. It's gonna bus from itself to the master. You see that? So it's gonna go one from point A to point B. And point B is always gonna be the master. Let's say I have this preset on insert 2, but the spots are filled and I need to add 2 more presets. What could I do? Right? So insert 3, I could have insert 3 bus into insert 2, right? But when I have it bust into insert 2, if I only want it to bust into insert 2, I'm gonna have to make it unbust from the master. So now insert 3 is unbust from the master, and it busts straight into insert 2. So in insert 3, I could add extra plugins that I wasn't able to fit into insert 2. You understand? You could either do it from insert 2 to insert 3 or insert 3 to insert 2. You just gotta make sure whatever the receiving channel is gonna be busted into the master, because if it's not, you cannot hear yourself, right? So I'll show you an example of this, okay? Let's say I'm gonna unbust 3 from 2, and I'm gonna bust 2 into 3, and I'm gonna disconnect it from the master, because that's what I told you to do, right? As soon as I unbust it from the master, you can't hear me anymore. It's like a bridge, yeah, pretty much. It's just a pathway, right? So you just gotta make sure that you connect them, and when you connect them, you gotta make sure whatever the last part is, has to connect to the master, or you won't be able to hear anything. Since I'm gonna have presets on insert 3 and it busts into 2, I would put my mic on insert 3, okay? And I'm gonna take it off insert 2, but you're still gonna hear the same thing because it busts into this preset. I see what you're saying, exactly. So like I said, since it's on this, you could still add a bunch of different, extra presets that you weren't able to fit, for example, on your original preset. So let's say I wanted to add my Autotune, because I don't think this one doesn't have Autotune. So I wanted to add Autotune to this, right? I can add an Autotune plugin, and now there's a little bit of Autotune, right? You know what I'm saying? It's chromatic, so you're not gonna hear anything, but let's change it to B flat. Now you can hear the Autotune. You know what I'm saying? How do you find the key to the beat and such, like changing tempo and making your auto the instrumental? I use a website called Songkey and BPM Finder. And again, we love it. We just drag and drop the file right here, and it gives us our key. This is the key that you want to set your Autotune into. So it would be the key of F minor, and it's 87 beats per minute. You know, the song key, that's the thing that's important. And keep in mind though, it's not always correct. So you're gonna have to use your ears, and if this shit sounds ass, and it doesn't sound good on the beat, for example, yeah, it doesn't sound good. Wait, yeah, it sounds good. You use another one, right? Until you get an option that sounds good. And boom, from there you go. That's how you find your Autotune. That's how you find your song key, your BPM, and your Autotune key. But regardless, that's all you guys need to know. Now you can make music. You can make music. So try different presets, because the preset is what's gonna make you sound crazy. The preset is what's gonna make you sound different. Because guess what? You hear this preset? Watch, I'm gonna talk in the exact same voice, but I'm gonna put a different preset on. Now watch. We're gonna bust this into this. See, this is the exact same thing, but it's a different preset, and I sound completely different. But it's still the same thing. You know what I'm saying? The preset will do a lot for you. So you gotta find what preset works for you, and what preset will accomplish the different things that you wanna do. Okay? All right, well, yeah, like I said, that's the end of the tutorial, guys. So now you know how to make music. And guess what? I'm gonna host a contest. Whoever sends me the best song using some part of this tutorial as a sample, you could use it as just a little vocal clip, whatever the fuck you want to do. Just got to add it into the song. You win a prize. All right. So I'm hosting that competition. The end date of that will be January 28th, because YouTube be pushing videos out very sporadically. So somebody might see this in a week. Somebody might see it in 2 weeks. So the end date is going to be, actually, I'll just do the end of January. January 31st is the deadline for the submissions. You know what I'm saying? And the prize will be distributed on February 1st. If you see this video, cook up. My Discord link will be in the bio. All my socials are in the bio too. My Twitch is also in the bio. So I appreciate you guys for watching the tutorial. Hopefully this helped. I'm not gonna lie, it probably did. You know what I'm saying? But the biggest thing is, once you get it down and you wanna know how to make good music, just have fun, my nigga. Just have fun. Have your voice do crazy shit, bro. Sound different. Use everything that God gave you, because guess what? He gave it to you for a reason. You feel me? But I love y'all. I love y'all. JC, that's the community name. Me and the JC, man. I love y'all, and I'll see you soon.